Another cold, rainy day. Down here at the shop again. Brought Shopbot down here. Hadn't brought him down here to play yet. I'll have to get that in one of these videos. Went to one of the big box stores, got some paint. Hope this is, it's pretty close. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I think that'll work. Gonna put a little bit of primer on the valve covers. A little bit of paint on some other stuff. And then off to the auto parts store. Pick up a few things on my list, some valve cover gaskets and some various other things. So right now, yeah, flip some of these around and get some paint on the other side. There we go. That one's over. This is the transmission cooler line that I worked on last time, and the valve covers. I got a little bit of pitting in here. I'm going to try to put some primer on that and sand it, fill them in just a little bit. Not wanting them to look perfect, but a little better than what they were. See, don't need the primer. There we go. Some rattle cans here. I think we're hovering right around 40 degrees, maybe. Got one more transmission line I want to get cleaned up. Start getting some paint on that. I want to get the valve covers done and put back on this motor and get the top end kind of buttoned up. I don't like leaving it out like that. One of my friends might be coming over sometime today. Want me to do a little welding job for him. See how video works on that. Don't know if he want to be a part of it or not. Still leaking a little bit of oil out the end there. That's alright. Well, that's smart. Just kick it, why don't you? Not too bad. Let that dry for a little bit. I want to wipe these down. A little bit. I also have to put a input seal in the rear end of my little truck, the one I drive all the time. Leaking a little rear end grease. Pick the seal up while I'm at auto parts place. I did it one time, but obviously I screwed it up. use the regular ratchet to put the yoke back on it. It didn't want to go on very well, so I had to fight with it a little bit. I think I ruined the seal trying to get that done. Yep. Figured if I got a little coat of paint on these and let it dry for a little while I was out running some errands. Sit this little guy over here out of the way. How about here? He can dry for a little while. Oh, come on. There we go. Temperature's not up there very much. It's going to take this stuff a little while to dry. Put a coat of paint on these. Need to paint the back side of that one on. Glad I looked. Sticking to the paper. There we go. We don't need to do much to the back side of that. I wonder if I can paint and rattle at the same time. Not very well. There we go. Try not to step on the stuff I just painted. All right. Sit that right there. I'll take this pulley off and clean it up a little bit. No. Let's see if I guess right there. Probably metric anyway. I'm gonna try it just in case. Yeah, that's what I figured. So you go with the trend to 15. Yep, there we go. Shouldn't be held on by the middle, I wouldn't think. Yep. Rubber mallet, that's all it took. Those don't look too bad. Probably just hit them with the bench grinder a little bit. See what we got here. Got me some more washing powder. Put in the electrolysis tank, and I brought my power supply down here. So I just wanted to see how it works. See, I can use a small bucket for that. I think I got one. Yep, got one right here. Let's clean this out just a little bit. Some more parts soaking in here. I forgot about those. Enough. I guess we'll find out. Interested to see if I hook the power supply up, if it'll work a little bit faster. Did I get enough water in there? Oh yeah. Don't need that anymore. At least for now anyway. Well, one thing I didn't think of, I need to, might have to get a bigger bucket. I don't know if I got anything that's in the scrap metal pile here thin enough to get down in there. That's a long piece. Yeah, that's touching, so that's not going to work. If I can get something in the middle there. Do I have anything? It'll go down in there. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, it's coated. It's not tall enough. Well, shoot. I just have to put this in a bigger bucket. A little more warm water. That covered it. Do, 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 do. Raindrops keep falling on my head. What I normally, I think that'll work. Hang on, these old lawnmower blades. I think I can do this from both sides. Get some clamps to keep them from falling over. Well, just want to touch. See if that one will stay. That one's not touching. Yeah, not touching now. I brought all my wires in here and put them somewhere. Not usually we bring stuff in, forget where you put it. Those look like they're about dry. Where did I put those wires? Well, let me find those and check the battery on the camera. And we'll see what happens when we fire this thing up. Got her all hooked up. And this thing's doing some bubbling. Much quicker than the method that I've been using. I'm gonna take this thing outside. I don't want this off-gassing in here. I actually see some coming up off of it. But that shouldn't take too long. I'm gonna try to pull the harmonic balancer off this thing. Hopefully the puller I got will do it. Replace the front seal in this thing. The way this thing's set up, I only have that washer's not gonna fit down in there. Nope. I don't think any of those are the right ones either. I don't know if this is gonna work. I prefer to have more bolt and more thread. Slide that over a little bit, slid off to the side, and do it again. Alright, well, shockingly enough it worked. Keyway's in there pretty good. Take this part, get that cleaned up. One more piece down. Yeah, a little bit of that, a little bit of the oil pan, and everything else. Just for the heck of it, I'm trying different forms of rust remover. See how they work. Slather this stuff on here and let it sit a little while. See if this works, if I need to do something different. Definitely an interesting color. All right, had this thing soaking for a while. We're gonna take it in here and see what it looks like after we clean it up a little bit. Do a little bit of brushing. Thought I had some. Guess I don't. Well, cleaned off some of it. A lot of paint on it. Might do another application here in a little bit. Not bad. Still needs a little more work. Definitely better than it was. Started cleaning on this a little bit. I wired up a switch here on my grinder. Made kind of a variable power supply out of it, so I can slow my grinder down a little bit if I need to. And actually, I wanted to try it on this little handheld. A little less nerve-wracking when it's not spinning so fast, and it still cleans really well. I'm not complaining about that at all. Definitely much easier to handle that way. Put all my stuff up. I'm gonna finish cleaning this up. Might clean on the balancer just a little bit. So from what I can tell, this pin goes into the pump. 3 bolts hold the gear on. As long as you get this back in the right spot, this also lines up with your timing marks. Should be good to go. Let's hope so anyway. But since conveniently enough the intake gaskets came with the gasket for the injection pump, I'm going to take it off. As you can see how horrible that is. We're going to give it a shot and see what happens. Hopefully it won't screw it up too bad. Yeah. Tell you what I do need to do. Or what I am going to do. I'm going to line up those timing marks. In case something does get spun around, I got a reference point to start back from. I think that was it. Should line right back up. Now we'll do that. That one goes all the way through. Those are studs there on the bottom. Of course not. Don't look like. Yeah, it was. You were doing this concerned about the I'm not going to take the oil pan off. Wouldn't want to drop that down in there. That would be a bad day. Take that fuel line off. Interesting. Oh, okay. So I was wondering why this had a nut on it, plus it was threaded. But I guess the nut holds this cover on right here. Take this return line off. Get it out of the way. Replace it anyway. Should just take that whole thing off, shouldn't I? Huh. So that was a stud as well. So this actually had nothing to do with it. Alright. Well, we'll just put that back on there. What was that? 15. See if this will get in there. There. That might be, that's probably too big. There we go. Something else to clean up. Well, today has not been a fun camera day. I've taken 2 videos that I did in time warp, which is kind of like a slow motion, or excuse me, fast motion, which I did not want to do. And then I took 2 more videos where I pushed a button and took pictures. Did not help at all. So what I neglected to show you was I finished cleaning in the center of this block underneath the intake. Got some primer meant for heavily rusted surfaces. I sprayed it down with that. Now it's time to let that dry. The way I did this, I used some wire brushes and just went in there and scrubbed the major stuff off and vacuumed it out with a shop vac, trying not to make a mess. And I did mention, if you do that, do not use the vacuum cleaner from the house, because it will get nasty and you will get yelled at. Don't ask me how I know that. I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna put this and let it soak, try to get some of the rust off of it. let that soak a little while. I have to leave the shop and go on another project, which I also talked about in one of the time warp videos, which I guess I'm going to do again. I just won't be opening the boxes on video. I had the main pulley and the harmonic balancer soaking overnight. Scrubbed those up, got them cleaned up a little bit. In the video I did manage to make, I took the injection pump off. And that's how I got access to clean all this up. So for now, we're going to have to let this project sit for a little while and move away from the shop and do something different. Get back to you when we get started on that. Field trip's over. Back in the shop. I'm going to put some paint on some of this stuff. Won't be able to be down here for a little while. Paint some stuff up and let it be drying while I've got other stuff to do. That's the ceiling surface back there. I don't want to get paint all in it. I'm not really worried about the inside there. I can clean that out. Get some paint on some of this stuff and let it dry. When we left, I sprayed some primer on top of the motor here, and it's still a little tacky, so we're going to let that sit a little bit. More rattle can. Yeah. I guess I could get the starter over there too. I don't want to cover up the plate, so I might put a little bit of tape on it. Let's see. Yeah, look at there. Almost perfect. Trim a little off. Put this timing gear in some cleaner before I left. It's been a couple hours. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. Some degreaser. Trying to figure out how I can clean up the pump. I think if I can cover those return line. Yeah, that's an easy one there. I think if I can do that, I can successfully kind of clean this thing up a little bit.